All right, guys. So this is my take on the Challenger disaster that happened back in 1986. So the biggest, or what the Challenger disaster was the explosion of the U.S. space shuttle that was launched apparently to observe Halley's Comet during its orbit. What happened? Well, the main cause of the disaster was the failure of two rubber O-rings that were supposed to seal the joint between the lower segments of the rocket boosters. Um, yeah, with the cold, the severe cold that they were experiencing during the launch times, they were inexperienced with that type of extreme weather condition, and because of it, the O-rings killed the elasticity essentially of the O-rings. The cold killed the elasticity of the O-rings, and that's what caused the difference in equilibrium or balance of pressure, which eventually caused a massive fire and tearing and explosion and disintegration of the space shuttle, which led to also, I think, 7 deaths of every astronaut on board. As far as the biggest issues, the main and immediate problem, I think, was the cold because, like I said, extreme cold kills elasticity, and it's what caused the O-rings to no longer properly seal, which decreased the pressure. And when you have a lot of combustion of gases, that combustion, once there's any small window or crack for it to escape, it's going to cause a lot of damage. I think the second thing is there's no real escape method or any escape mechanism set in place for those types of disasters back then. This is, like I said, 1986 we're talking about here. Technology wasn't as advanced. So I think that was maybe like the second problem. But the biggest thing, and I guess the main contributor to the ethical issue, was the lack of communication and also the lack of a proper safety culture back then, because a lot of different changes were implemented after this disaster. But what essentially happened, there were lots of tests run beforehand, and the biggest concern being the cold. With the biggest concern being the cold, lots of the people who were the scientists and engineers who were running the tests, a red flag went up that could be one of the main concerns because they had never experienced those conditions before when launching, but somehow management overrode their concerns and kind of swept them under the rug. So I think ethically, that was probably the main issues: the lack of communication and lack of a voice from the smaller guys, but also lack of proper safety culture as well.